Hi, this is Thresden, and this is part 14 of an Elder Scrolls Online Blackwood Collections walkthrough. In the previous two episodes, we tried to do some battlegrounds, and we had a lot of trouble with it. This character is just too tanky to take into battlegrounds. So what I'm going to do in the next few episodes is I'm going to try to build an alternate build for this character. I'm going to go with this one right here, Arcane Warrior, and start trying to develop some damaging abilities, some stamina-based abilities. We're going to need to get a second two-handed weapon, because we're going to learn the two-handed skill. You know what? Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. I was thinking about maybe doing two-handed weapons instead, but we'll dual wield. And then hopefully over time we can do better at battlegrounds, do more damage. We'll still work on the tank build a little bit, but we'll have two different builds, and I'm using this add-on called Dressing Room that will allow us to switch builds on the fly. Another thing I did since the last episode is I equipped a frost staff for my back bar, because we now have a back bar. When you get to level 15, you can weapon swap. So if you look at my abilities down here, I've got the same 5 abilities, but now I've got a back bar with basically one more ability. In fact, I need to put negate on here. I just got this ultimate ability, negate magic. Create a globe of magic suppression for 9 seconds, removing and preventing all enemy area of effect abilities from occurring in the area. Enemies within the globe are stunned, while enemy players will be silenced rather than stunned. Okay, so despite doing very badly in the battlegrounds, we did finish our first battleground quest, which is called For Glory. So we need to talk to Battlemaster Riven.
The rush of battle, the glory of contest. There's no greater thrill. That's why we do what we do.
I participated in a battleground game.
That's what I like to hear. The more you play, the more rewards. It's as simple as that. Occasionally, I'll give you specific goals with greater rewards if you can accomplish them. Come and see me anytime you wish for such a challenge.
All right, we got 187 gold, 2,000 alliance points. These alliance points can be spent in Cyrodiil. You can buy gear with them and stuff.
Excellent work. Now that you have an idea of what we do here, I can offer you more specific challenges. The Circle of Champions is always looking to sponsor players who keep competition fierce. Complete a challenge and return for your reward.
I'm looking for a challenge.
For this challenge, I want you to participate in 5 matches. Use this time to focus your strategy. Let the bond between your team grow without the concerns of victory holding you back. Win or lose, you'll be rewarded if you complete this task.
All right, I'll return when I participated in 5 matches.
The Circle of Champions is always proud to reward those who show talent in our games.
All right, so we're not going to do any more battlegrounds in the next few episodes. I need some time to try to get some more stamina-based abilities for this character first, because that just wasn't much fun playing without any really damaging abilities. Just felt like, okay, I can't die, but I can't really kill anybody anyway. We will do a dungeon, however, so I'll go ahead and queue for that. Oh, and we're going to immediately get in because we're a tank. Let's see what we get this time. If it's Spindle Clutch again, I will just edit it out of the video. It didn't even let me finish the fight. Alright, so Wayrest Sewers 1. Completely different dungeon. This is good. I made some buff food. Some tarragon chicken, using the recipe we got in the previous episode, so I've got that now.
Word of advice, friend. Never trust a necromancer. if you absolutely have to, think hard, and then walk the other way.
Are you alright?
Wayrest investigators bleed for a living. I'm fine. My people and I were here.
Who betrayed you?
A necromancer. Goes by the name of Garin.
Alright, we'll kill him.
Oh, I don't know if you're crazy or brave, but...
Yeah, probably a little of both. Oh, I need my taunt. I don't have my taunt equipped. I need puncture. This is bad. I'm afraid I'm gonna get kicked here, because they're gonna be like, what the hell is he doing? This guy doesn't know what he's doing. They don't know I was trying to re-equip my taunt because I was questing and had unequipped it. See, I can't taunt any of these mobs because... Yeah, just not going to be able to do it. They won't get out of combat long enough.
To the side!
Torch it! Have you come to meddle as well? I could always use more corpses.
Alright, hopefully after we kill this boss, I can get out of combat just for a second to equip my taunt. Otherwise, I'm not going to do very well as a tank.
Tormented souls of the dead arise and kill these interlopers.
This is Investigator Garon, by the way. This is the guy who was telling us to kill.
Tormented souls of the dead arise and kill these interlopers.
Alright, let's see.
Help me.
Oh, you're kidding me! They still can't get out of combat? Can we get out of combat for a sec? I need to re-slot my taunt. Oh, that's not going to work on the back bar. Alright. Thanks.
You got here just in time, but I know you didn't come in with the investigation team. Who are
Investigator Hernan sent me to handle the
you?
situation.
Another 5 minutes and I would have been an undead.
I'll free you.
Baron isn't leading this whoreson lot. It's a pair of nobles.
Alright, it's the
Raised in London.
Pellingares.
Plenty for you and me to handle.
I'll find the
You have my
Pellingares and
thanks.
defeat them. So the Pellingares are the ones behind all this. We've got to go kill them.
I need aid!
You'll never get past us.
I keep forgetting that on this character, my ultimate is R. On most of my other characters, I have it set to the mouse button, the center mouse button. That's so that I don't accidentally hit it when I don't want to.
I can't allow you to muck about in here. Know that it was Varaine Pellingare who ended your life.
Alright, now I can taunt this guy. Okay, so the way this ultimate ability works is every time you attack enemies, you build up ultimate. It's a special resource. And when it builds up all the way, then you can use your ultimate. Usually does a lot of damage all at once.
Gut you like a pig. Right, lads?
I need healing!
Alright, let's see if we can get this lore book up here. Wayrest Sewers, A Short History.
Come here and let me show you the... Set it ablaze!
Aid me! I'm hurt! To the side!
I tell you, playing a tank now, I almost feel like I've never played ESO before. It's that different from playing a regular character. From playing a DPS. that situation where I didn't have my taunt slotted, that was pretty embarrassing.
Burn it! Charge!
Flank, now!
Charge!
Alright, where are we going? This way, I guess.
Looks like we're digging some more shallow graves, lad.
Light it up! No way you make it back to the top. Get him!
Alright, I believe this is going to be the final boss right here.
There will be no place for rabble like you when the Pellingares rule Wayrest.
Yeah, she like transforms into these bats where you get teleported to another area. Then you come back and now she's back.
There's your proof, Master Pellingare. It's your children responsible for this madness.
Allene, no!
Master Pellingare wouldn't believe me when I told him his son and daughter were plotting to attack the city. He no longer has a choice.
Alright, so Master Pellingare, his son and daughter were plotting to attack the city. They were hiding out in the sewers. What's next?
Our investigation is just beginning. I hope the Elder Pellingare isn't implicated as well. Today is a dark one for our city, but it would have been worse if you hadn't gotten involved.
Alright, we got Investigator's uniform of the Sergeant. This is probably better. In fact, this is a lot better than what we had on. As far as for our tank
Pellingares are
build.
one of the most esteemed families in Wayrest. Or they were, before today. They have a long history of lawmakers and politicians in their line. Such a waste.
Why did they do this?
A question we'll be asking many times as we investigate the breadth of their conspiracy against Wayrest. From what I've heard, the Pellingare children were raised under the mentorship of investigator Garin. Could have been his influence.
Yeah, he was a bad guy, for sure. What will happen to Master Pellingare?
Nothing, if the investigation proves he's done nothing wrong. Irnant and I have only implicated his children. The city and the Master's fellow nobles will no doubt want this ended as quickly as possible. But the Wayrest Guard lost a lot of lives today. I'm going to make sure justice is done.
Right on. Is Irnand all right?
He took a blade to the midsection, but he'll survive. He sends his thanks. We both do. There's no telling the chaos that would have erupted in the city streets if you hadn't stopped the Pellingares.
All right, I'm happy to stop them. So let's see what level we got to. Level 19. We gained 3 levels in that dungeon. Okay, so what kind of weapon glyph do we want? Let's do slight glyph of weapon damage. Let's take that one. And we're going to add stamina this time. Alright, so we need to start getting two-handed abilities. But we don't have... Let's see if we've got an extra two-handed weapon. We've got a steel sword. I'm sorry, I didn't mean two-handed weapons. I meant 2 one-handed weapons. So all we have is this one steel sword here. So I'm going to wait until we get a second weapon. Yeah, I'm going to wait until we get a second weapon. I'm just going to hang on to these skill points. Let's get a bed. Add another point of stamina. And then we got crown repair kits. And unfortunately, we still don't have another one-handed weapon. Alright, now let me leave the group. Go into group here. Let's disband group. And then we can hit X to leave the dungeon. So we've got 3 skill points. We can definitely get some two-handed skills. But we need another one-handed weapon. We actually need, just one-handed weapon to use. So that we can work more on this stamina build. In the meantime, we'll just continue on with the quest. This is the letter we found that told us to go see, it's like a carnival or some dancing people or something. They're traveling entertainers. So let's see what they're up to.
I admit it's quite a story, but I know the difference between a tall tale and a large problem. I'll help however I can.
I shudder to think what your elven circus would consider far-fetched. I'm not so sure I believe it myself.
Greetings, traveler. If you've come to witness the marvels and mysteries of our troupe, I hope you haven't traveled far. Our performance is postponed indefinitely. On account of drama, ironically enough.
Okay, so they're kind of traveling performers. They put on plays. What seems to be the trouble?
There's a more sinister mischief in Farmer's Nook than the sort the House of Reveries trades in. I hear of townsfolk disappearing, only to turn up and act oddly. We only set camp recently, but the locals fear we've somehow caused their plight.
Do you have any idea what's happening here?
None. That farmer Hesef said his sister was among the afflicted, and she died recently. At least he thought she died, but she left no corpse. I must clear the troop's name. With the locals wary as they are, though, I need help. And I can pay.
All right, if you can pay, I can help. I'll help you get to the bottom of this.
Hesef mentioned that 2 of his neighbors also had loved ones vanish. Braden DeVoe and Jahooz. Speak with them. They may be more open with a less grandiose traveler. You might also speak with Hesef directly, if you wish.
Who are you?
Any other day, I'd claim to be the lost princess of Piandania and regale you with tales of my exploits, but now's not the time for such frivolities. My fellows and I are entertainers from the House of Reveries, here to perform across all of Tamriel.
What is the House of Reveries?
I've been greatly disappointed with how often I've gotten that question since we departed from Somerset. There's not a soul in the Isles who hasn't heard of the Manor of Masks and its famed performers. But Tamriel will know it soon enough.
So it's like a theater.
Theater, conservatory, circus, salon, temple. The House of Reveries wears as many guises as we do. It is the ancestral home of all the performing arts in Somerset. And the world, if you believe some of the sapiarchs.
What brings your troop to such a remote little town?
Sleepy little towns like Farmer's Nook are the most in need of an escape from the mundane. We came to offer them some mirth and mystery, but it appears we've been upstaged. Well, our troop won't be outdone so easily. We have a reputation to uphold.
What are you planning to do?
Help, of course. I've devoted my life to liberating people from their troubles, however briefly. And if I can't do that from a stage, then I will take my talents where they are most needed.
This could be dangerous.
I may seem a simple thespian to you, but I have had other roles in this life before I found my calling. While I may not count adventurer among them, I'm certain that I am far better prepared to unravel this mystery than these unfortunate folk.
Okay. Alright, let's see if we can figure out what's going on.
Stand well clear, my friend. My performance is hot, hot, hot!
Have you heard anything about the strange occurrences in Farmer's Nook?
The only strange occurrence I've seen is a complete lack of interest in our show. You're the first person to show even the slightest interest. It's been more than a little disheartening.
Oh, you're not going to talk to me, huh? Okay.
Welcome, traveler. Rest your weary bones and enjoy the best show anywhere in Tamriel.
I would, but you guys have postponed it, so how am I going to enjoy it?
Welcome, traveler. Why don't you sit back and enjoy the show? I certainly am.
Have you been drinking?
Of course. It's a show, isn't it? And this way I don't notice if I stick myself. Ha! You almost bought it, didn't you? I'm just a wee bit loose is all. Helps relax the gullet.
That's the trick to it?
Planning to give it a try? Well, before you go turning yourself into a new life roast pig, there's maybe a bit more to it than a bottle of Russefeld Red, but if you ever make your way to Somerset, stop by the House of Reveries for a lesson.
I'll keep that in mind if I ever do go to Somerset. What can you tell me about alchemy?
She is fascinating, isn't she? If not for her, I'd not be a part of the House of Reveries. And as inconvenient as her bleeding heart may be, I couldn't imagine her without it. Her compassion makes her who she is, I think. And a stellar actress.
When you mention her bleeding heart, what do you mean?
Hey, she'd shush me if she overheard, but she's quite the savior. She'll hog center stage all day and chew the scenery for applause, but never for her charity. We performed for orphans, and she donated her proceeds to them discreetly.
Okay.
So, working with the mummers. They may seem strange, but you're safer resting at their camp than at the inn. Not to say Braden runs a poor establishment, mind. There's just strangeness afoot in our little village.
I'm helping Alchemy with your problem. She suggested I hear your story for myself.
Folk have been going missing of late, including my sister, Seal. Never for long, a few days. Just enough to plant a worry before they wander back as if nothing happened. But something did. They come back different. Like everything's unfamiliar.
Like she forgot everything?
Weren't her memory. She could recall details down to where she last left the salt, but acted like she'd never tasted it. She'd bring up things I'd long forgotten as if they'd happened yesterday. Started dredging up old hurts we'd put past us long ago.
Could they have been related to her disappearing?
Can't say. Felt like she wanted to relive the past, good and bad. Don't know what would have brought that on. We lead quiet lives now. Happy lives, I thought. Led, I suppose. She's gone now. If it was even her in the first place.
What happened to her?
Seal led me to our old swimming hole. Hadn't been there in decades. She dove right in like we did as kids. I looked away before she struck the water. She hit hard. When I screwed up the courage to look, just inky black water. She was gone.
That was the last time you saw her?
That's right. Even with that ink in the pool, I could tell her body weren't there. I searched around the swimming hole, too. Nothing. Not so much as a wet footprint or even more of that vile ink, like she'd vanished.
What sort of things did CL bring up before she took you to the swimming hole?
A lot from our childhood, mostly. If our parents were around, they were deep in the skooma, so Seal and I had to look out for each other. Not so much anymore. The years have been peaceful here. I suppose we'd grown distant before she vanished.
You drifted apart?
No. Maybe. We'd sit down for meals together and tend the farm together, but there's not much to talk about in Farmer's Nook. Another field planted, another day gone by. Was she trying to tell me something? What was she trying to say?
What can you tell me about the time before your sister went missing?
We were all a bit shaken by what happened with Igmund, but things were getting back to normal. Until Seal went out to collect logs and didn't return. I begged the others to help me search for her, but they feared they'd vanish too.
Did you find anything?
Truth is, I didn't make it far myself. I thought I heard things in those woods. Even during the day, it felt like something was watching. When she showed up at the house again, I nearly fainted. I should have been relieved, but I felt haunted.
You think it could have been her ghost?
Can a ghost take your hand? Make a meal? If she slept, I never saw it. I barely slept myself. The staring was the worst. Felt like she was always watching, smiling. When she'd blink, it was like one eye was a hair shy of the other. Gave me chills.
Yeah, that's pretty creepy. What's this? Daily reward. Instant all research, okay? Alright, let's move up here. Let's talk to Jahaus. Guess that's how you pronounce his name. See if we can figure out what's going on with all these missing people.
Ah! Careful! You might have scared the mayor. Who are you? What do you want?
I'm looking into the disappearances and the strange way people are acting when they return.
You've come about Bugtail. I knew someone would, but my neighbors have kept their distance since he returned. I cannot blame them. I scarcely wish to take him back myself, not after Igmund and Seal, but I couldn't bring myself to turn him away.
Are you afraid of Bugtail?
Yes. Or rather, I fear I will share his fate. Bugtail rode out to deliver a horse despite my protest. The gelding returned. He did not. Before I would have been the first to go looking, but I dreaded he'd return. Like the others. And he did.
Where is he now?
Dead. Or gone. For now. Even the horses could tell something was wrong with him. I fought with this one's reins as he groomed her, but she started and kicked Bugtail. Ink sprayed everywhere. When I cleared my eyes, it was all that remained.
Okay, so people keep dying and there's ink spraying everywhere. So they're being possessed by some kind of ink monster or something? I don't know. I have some other questions if you're willing to share more.
I do not wish to speak of what has happened here, but I will. How many more will vanish and return to haunt us if no one tries to stop it? What is it you wish to know, stranger?
Who was Bugtail to you?
In the far-off land of Elsewhere, I was taken by Sea Elf privateers and sold into Imperial slavery. Bugtail had been a slave for many years when I arrived. Like many Khajiit after Queen Eurexia invaded elsewhere. We bonded because we spoke so little.
How did you escape?
You may think me a spinner of tall tales, but I swear I speak no lies. Bugtail and I were languishing under the hot sun, digging new metal for the Imperial Queen, when a dragon swooped out of the sky and scorched the land. In the chaos, we ran.
Really? You really saw a dragon?
I will never forget the sound of those Eurexian soldiers screaming. Truthfully, I do not know what scared me more. Seeing that giant fire-belching beast, or my quiet friend standing at my door like a phantom.
So these guys are from Elsewhere. Elsewhere is has been invaded by dragons. If you ever go there, there's dragons everywhere. So that explains what happened to them. What about Bugtail made you and your horses uneasy?
I would not have suspected anything amiss had I not known of what happened to Igman and Seal. There was nothing sinister in his look or manner. If anything, he regarded me more warmly than he had in years. Normally, he could go days without a word.
Any idea why he was so talkative?
He seemed to want to reminisce about our more adventurous days, before we escaped to Farmer's Nook and settled down to raise horses. They were livelier times, but I would not trade them for what I have now.
Yeah, I understand. Sounds like they were livelier times, but also dangerous. Alright, now, why did it change my quest? I need to talk to Braden DeVoe. Oh, by the way, I'm going to change this horse. I'm going to change this to an Imperial horse. To match my Imperial character wearing Imperial gear. There, that's better. Fitting horse to ride in an area, a part of Cyrodiil. Braden?
We're out of meat and no hot meals. If those are luxuries to which you're accustomed, you can keep on moving and find another inn.
I'm looking into the disappearances and the strange way people are acting when they return.
What are you, some sort of adventurer? Yeah. Yeah, you look the part. Sorry I was short with you. Since Igman passed, I've had to work twice as hard and twice as long to run the inn. It's done my manor no favors.
What happened to Igman?
Damned fool. He wanted to build a bonfire and drink the night away like we used to. Haven't seen Igman down mead like that since we were barely men. He lost his legs and tumbled into the fire. Nothing but cinders left by the time I doused the blaze.
No ink or anything? No remains?
Not so much of a scrap of clothing. Just black, tarry ashes.
Okay, right. So burnt ink.
Never seen anything throw such a thick black smoke. But it didn't smell like you'd expect. Hair and burned flesh. More like old hay or musty linens. It wasn't natural.
Alright, I'd like to ask you about what happened before Igman's death.
I want to know what happened to my brother. Whether he's alive or truly dead. Even if the truth says he really did die in that fire, at least I can put my doubts to rest. What do you wish to know?
I heard Igman went missing for a little while.
That's right. He'd gone to get supplies from Gideon. What should have been a couple of days turned into more than a week. I'd begun to fear that he'd been robbed and left for dead on the road, but he wandered back into town like nothing had happened.
Did he say what happened?
Said he got lost. As if he hadn't walked that road 1,000 times. I'd have accused him of gambling our money away on toad races, but he had every piece of gold he left with. How do you spend a week lost in the wood and not look worse for wear?
Was there anything else unusual about him after he returned?
Like he didn't have a care in the world. He seemed to be enjoying even the usual drudgery. Never thought I'd miss his belly aching over the chores, but he just didn't seem himself.
Did anything unusual occur before Igman went missing?
No. Things were as they usually are in Farmer's Nook. Uneventful. It's exciting times when our little inn sees more than a couple travelers in a month. Ever since Igman got lost, things have been nothing but trouble.
Nothing but trouble. How so?
2 others disappeared since Igman, and all 3 were acting strange before they met untimely ends. If that's even what you could call it. No one wanders from the village now. Some folk are sleeping in my inn just to stick close.
All right.
Wait a moment, stranger. I need to speak with you.
Okay. Mael Favrod?
So you're the one's been asking questions about the people who've gone missing, then come back wrong?
That's right. Do you know something?
I don't like involving strangers in our affairs, but my daughter's gone. Not the first time, or even the 4th, that Anise has run off, but... well, you've heard what befell the others. I'm worried she's in real danger.
When did you last see Anise?
A few days ago. I punished her for neglecting her chores again. She must have snuck out in the night. I couldn't find hide nor hair of her in the morning. She hasn't been home since. She's a stubborn one. But normally she'd have come back by now.
You're afraid she's vanished like the others?
I just want to know she's all right. I hate asking a stranger to do this, but no one else has the spine to leave the Nook right now. And I can't go traipsing after that rapscallion like I used to. Will you find Anise and bring her back to me?
Where should I start my search for Anise?
Our house is just over there, on the west side of town. There may be something among Anise's things that points to where she ran off to. But my nerves are too frayed to see it. I'm at my wit's end.
What can you tell me about Anise?
She doesn't want to live here in Farmer's Nook, I can tell you that. That girl's been trying to get out of here since she was old enough to walk. She's still convinced she's going to travel to Abba's Landing and join some pirate crew.
Wait, Anise wants to be a pirate?
It's not like I raised her to embrace a life of piracy. It's those books her father got her when she was young. Filled her head with ridiculous tales of far-off lands, adventures, and riches. I sailed in my younger days. It's not so glamorous.
What do you mean?
Sailing is days of rope burns and sunburns. It's being tossed about the cabin while a storm rolls your ship. It's bad food, stale water, and wondering if you'll ever make it home. And that's not the life she's dreaming. No, she won't listen.
All right, let's see if we can find Anise. And maybe that will give us a clue as to what's happened to all these other people. Have to look through her stuff in here. See if there's anything else. Got some food I can get here. What's this? Hearth ashes. Burnt handbill. The only legible print spells Ek Hanswa. That's weird. It didn't give me credit for it. Maybe I didn't hit R. Okay. Or it just didn't register that I hit R. I didn't mean to steal. Yeah, I don't want to deal with having to launder stolen items, so... Let's see, can I find stolen items easily in here? Oh, I thought... That's weird. I didn't notice it telling me that this was stealing. Rolled up scroll. Okay, it's a map. That looks promising. Yeah, this is all stuff that counts as stealing. Don't want to do that on this character. I've done it on other ones, but it takes up a lot of time. Here's a notched butcher knife. This knife's edge has numerous deep chips, as if it were used to strike hard objects, not cut meat.
Well, any luck, stranger? We don't have much, I know. Anise never fails to remind me. Have you found anything that might lead to my daughter?
I found some fragments of a burned note in the fireplace. Was that yours?
That's just some old handbill Anise had been hanging on to. Months old. Some vessel seeking fresh-faced deckhands that's long since pulled up anchor. I pitched it to the hearth after our last argument. Probably why she left. But not where.
Your butcher knife has taken some real abuse.
When Anise was little, we couldn't keep her away from it. She'd grab it when we weren't looking and batter the walls and stairs, pretending it was her pirate sword.
Okay.
And drove my husband crazy. I've made do for so long I never bothered to replace it.
What about this map? I found it under her bed.
What's that doing out? Anice's plan for a fort. My husband built it for her when she was about 6. Oh, it must be a moldering wreck by now. Unless... if she hasn't run off to join that elf circus, she might be there. It was east of here, in the hills.
All right, I'll check it out.
Ah, you're off to find this Anise girl, then. Tell me what you've learned. I wasn't able to overhear everything. You've been gone for some time. You managed to persuade the locals to share their stories with you, yes?
Yes, I did.
Did their firelight tales share any common themes?
All the victims wanted to reminisce about the past and disappeared again after sudden accidents.
Restless phantoms returning to say their last goodbyes before being spirited away once more? This really is beginning to sound like a ghost story. It's all a little too coincidental, don't you think? There has to be a common cause.
Mael Favrald asked me to look for her missing daughter, Anise. Have you seen her?
You and Hesef have been our only visitors at the camp. If Anise has only recently gone missing, there may still be a chance for us to find her before she becomes the latest victim in this ghost story. Do you have any leads?
It appears Anise might have run away to an old clay fort in the hills near here.
Seeking out a more comforting time, no doubt. Let's hope she hasn't escaped into the arms of a monster.
Yeah.
I'll follow your lead. My expertise in stage combat won't do us much good, but I have a few other talents and tricks up my sleeve.
All right, let's head to the play fort. All right, not that far from here. I guess I should replace puncture again. What did I have? I'm just going to keep it there for now.
What a charming little fort. Well cared for, loved. Anice's home away from home. We should look around.
How can you talk like that without running out of breath while you're running, Alchemy? Is that some trick? Pirate Queen of the Gold Coast. Alright, it's a pirate book. Port of Leowen scheduled departures. 3rd week of First Sea, 2E580. The Meritorious Ivory Brigade patrol vessel departs at dawn on Sundays for 2-week patrol. Due to return 2nd week of Rain's Hand. Stowaway, meet pirates, jump ship. Floundering Flounder, fishing vessel registered to Braxton Emery. Departing Midas morning Due to return Freitas of the same week. Boring. Shellback, Blackfin Legion warship. Departing mourned us at noonday tide for Gideon. I bet hard scales could sail with them. I should reread those chapters. Merry Mermaid, merchant vessel, registered to Rangdale Mori. Departing pending customs inspection. Bound for Anvil on the Gold Coast. Suspected red sail smuggler. This is perfect. If they get held up in port, I should have plenty of time to sneak aboard. Alright, so she's planning to sneak aboard a ship and become a pirate.
A list of departures. Annie's had a mind to travel.
Some footprints.
Footprints coming here and heading somewhere else.
Pirates of the Abyssian, or Abakian. This counts as a lore book. Helped to level my Mage's Guild skill. Fresh food. The pack is stuffed with a random assortment of foodstuffs, mostly sweets.
Seems our pirate raided the pantry before she left. She planned to be gone a while.
Battered training sword. This training sword, designed for a young child, has seen heavy use.
I wonder what adventures this tiny sword has seen. I can picture our young heroine, wielding her imagination like a saber and cutting her way through all manner of adventure.
It's a map of Tamriel.
I crave adventure and freedom. Play is my only escape. I come here to plan. I fantasize about leaving. Doubt holds me back. I need someone to believe in me. So often I'm alone, but today I have a visitor. Someone I trust. I go with them. I've never been more excited. I believe I have thrust to the heart of the matter. Hear me out.
What was it you were doing there?
Getting into character, you could say. Preparing for a part is all about understanding my role. How they think, how they feel. Anything and everything about who they are. I have always had a good head for details, and it serves me well as an actress.
What did you learn about Anise, then?
She's young, or at least young at heart. She's unhappy with her life, but she feels trapped. She has a dream to follow, but she's too scared to go it alone. Only now, she's found help.
How do you know that?
One place to sleep, yet 2 mugs on the crate, both unfinished. And of course, 2 sets of footprints heading south, into the marsh, dancing all the way. The only way forward is to follow in their steps. Shall we dance too?
Let's see what we find in the marsh, then.
I don't know who Annie's met out here, but the clues suggest that she wasn't in danger. Yet. We shouldn't dawdle.
Maybe she really is just running away?
That might very well be the case, though I have to wonder why she'd leave her pack behind if she had no intention to return. I don't like meddling in someone's family affairs, but let's confirm she's all right before we jump to any conclusions.
Any idea who she may have met here?
Someone she trusted enough to share a drink with. There's little doubt in my mind that she left with them voluntarily. The question is, was this person really who they appeared to be? We won't know the answer to that until we catch up with them.
All right, let's go find them. All right, there's a footprint. There's another one. I need to go this way. So otherwise I'll head out of the quest area. Another footprint. What's this?
The tracks lead to this ruin. Did Annie's come here seeking adventure? We should look around.
Alright, it's an ancient urn. Dry ashes. The ashes in this urn haven't succumbed to the humidity of the swamp yet. There is a fresh stink of burned flesh amid the scorched bits of paper and blackened cloth.
Despite the smell, I don't think that's a funerary urn. The ashes are too fresh.
Alright, let's look at this book here. The Saga of Captain Wereshark, Volume 3. Several pages have been torn out. Just a story about pirates.
This book is well worn, but hardly old. Given the subject matter, I'd wager it belonged to Annie's.
Yeah, seems like something she'd read, right? Alien Brazier, burnt paper. These charred pages are still saturated with blackened blood.
There are bits of paper in this brazier, but most of these books are too soggy for tinder. Well, this is troubling.
Yeah, I mean, the blood is very troubling.
I believe Annis came here and performed some sort of ritual, and not the sort conjured from an overactive imagination. Whoever she followed here convinced her to make an offering to this place.
What makes you say that?
I'm certain that well-worn adventure book was a dear possession to Annis. She wouldn't have torn pages from it for a lark. She burned them in that brazier with her own blood for some ritual purpose.
Any idea what that could be?
Not yet, but I was a mage of great talent in a past life. If there's any clue relating to what is occurring in Farmer's Nook, I'll find it. There's a good chance Annis will return to town, like the others. If she does, confront her about this.
All right, I'll head back now.
If Annis does return to Farmer's Nook, be careful confronting her. The last thing we want is for her to do something drastic and come to harm like those who came before her.
What if the one who led Annie's out here returns?
Afraid my witty repartee won't be enough to keep me out of trouble? I'm hurt. Trust me when I say I know how to make a dramatic exit when I need to.
Okay.
But if I don't return to town in a short while, assume the worst.
All right. Well, she's right. That makes sense. Since everyone has always returned so far, we can assume Annis will return as well. And then she'll want to reminisce about everything, and then there will be some accident, and she'll disappear into a bunch of blacky ink. Alright, that's it for this episode. In the next episode, we'll go back to town, and we'll see if we can find Annis. See if she's returned to town. Is she acting differently? Does she die covered in ink or something crazy like that? We'll see what happens. Thanks for watching. See you next time.